Before we get into today's video, I just wanted to let you know about a giveaway that I'm running over on my Clips channel. So when I reach 1,000 subscribers over on the Clips channel, I'm going to be giving away a code for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and all you need to do is subscribe to that channel, comment your platform and region in any video on that channel, then comment on this video saying that you have done that just so I can confirm your entry. Now that that's out of the way, there will be spoilers for the Jedi Survivor story in this video, so I'd recommend clicking away now if you don't want spoilers. If you do, however, want some hopefully helpful tips and tricks on defeating Rayvis, then I'd recommend sticking around and subscribing to the channel for more Jedi Survivor content. So like I said, this video will be a bit of a tips and tricks guide on fighting Rayvis on the Shattered Moon. Now I've seen a few people I know struggling against him, especially since you have to fight him twice in one go, but I found the stance that I think is best against him after a little trial and error, so hopefully this video will prove useful to many of you, and even if it doesn't, then hopefully you do enjoy anyway. Now I think it's also worth saying that I am in no way a combat specialist, and these kind of games certainly aren't my strong suit, but in total I only had to fight Rayvis 3 times on the Jedi Knight difficulty, so I'm pretty happy with that. The first 2 times I fought him, I was mixing it up and changing between the double-bladed lightsaber and the dual-wield lightsaber stance, which if you saw my ranking video the other day are the top 2 stances that I used in the game. Now I managed to defeat Rayvis the first time, but I think my impulsive playstyle mixed with his new abilities and combos made me struggle quite a bit against him, so I pretty much didn't even make a dent in his second life whatsoever. Now after those 2 lives I decided that it was time for a change. There are 5 lightsaber stances in the game and they all have their own strengths and weaknesses, so I thought why not mix it up a little. The double blade is always my go-to anyway, so I kept with that, but I felt that range on Rayvis would actually be best for me, so I swapped the dual wield with my other favourite stance, which is the blaster stance. As you can hopefully see from the footage, I was still a little bit scrappy as usual. Like I said, I'm no combat pro, but for me the blaster worked an absolute treat as I was able to create some distance on Rayvis and take some pretty significant health off of him. Once I'd run out of the blaster bolts, I could then charge in there and deal even more damage with my single bladed lightsaber and recharge the blaster. The beauty of the blaster as well is that because Rayvis doesn't wield a lightsaber or any kind of energy weapon, he can't actually deflect the blaster bolts, so you're pretty much always guaranteed to deal some damage to him at the very least, which is what I found the most beneficial. Now there were also a few times when Rayvis would just stand there and pretty much let me pepper him in his second life, so I don't know if I got a bit lucky with that. But whether I was lucky or not, I managed to defeat Rayvis with 1 health stim left, and I only used that blaster stance for that one attempt, which is why I'm making this video because I just found it so useful. Now it is all well and good me saying that the blaster stance was the best stance for me and to recommend it to you all, which to be fair, if you are genuinely struggling and haven't tried it yet, then I would definitely recommend giving it a shot, no pun intended. But it does also come down to you as a player. By the 3rd time I'd fought Rayvis, I'd learned from my mistakes previously, and I became a bit more patient and I understood his attack patterns a lot better, so I believe that's the real key to defeating Rayvis and quite frankly any boss in the game. So if you are to take anything from this video, then ultimately the stance I would recommend is indeed the blaster stance, especially as you can get a bit more distance and deal more damage to him, and the single blade does deal some pretty significant damage. But you as a player must also be patient and try to study his attack patterns early on so that you know exactly when to dodge and when you can actually fight back effectively. Now I suppose that's the case when you're fighting any boss in the game, but I think using the blaster stance made me be more patient just because I had that extra distance against him. Hopefully you did find this video useful guys, and if you did then be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you want to see more tips then be sure to comment what boss fight you want me to cover next. That is it from me today though, thank you all very much for watching and may the force be with you always.